Hey guys, so today we're going to be taking my brand new, still shrink wrapped MSI Ventus 3X overclock 5090. And we're gonna put the Barrow Waterblock on it. I've been waiting for 4 or 5 months for the alpha cool version, and I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the tariffs threw a wrench in it. So anyways, that's the one I really wanted. We're going with the backup plan, which is the Barrow, which I know surely will have worse temperatures than the alpha cool version, but you know, you get what you can get. And I ran a Barrow on my 3080 Ti for 5 years. No issues, it ran cool. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Let me just show you what we get in the kit. So, all right, so here's the 5090. In the Barrow kit, we get the block, nickel-plated copper, I believe. We get a bracket for the back. We get some plugs, and we get a little cable for the LED function if you want it. We get a metal back plane. We get some thermal pads that are pre-cut. I'll probably just toss these and use some of my stack of Extreme Odyssey 2s, which I kind of just use these on everything. I got a few different sizes here, so I'll figure out the sizes and we'll use these. I've had good luck with those. And we got some bolts. Also, while we're at it, we're doing the infamous shunt mod. So we got some fresh resistors here. These are the two, I think it's micro ohms. And we're replacing whatever the stock ones are. Well, actually, no, we're not replacing them. We are simply going to do the stacking method. So I don't trust my soldering enough to actually remove. And you know, I probably would be fine with all the drone stuff, but why tempt fate, right? So I'm already voiding the warranty, so let's keep it as easy as I can do. So that, with the 2 micro ohm mod, I believe that it either brings the maximum wattage draw to, it's either 1200 or 1000 watts. I can't remember. I'm not really gonna run either of those if I'm being honest, but while we're at it, why not put it on the card? Because I'll probably do things where I want to run more than the stock wattage of 575, because this is like the lower end MSI model, so it doesn't do the 600 watts anyways. So I'm gonna probably end up flashing, like, you know, the supreme bias or something to it, and then it would be nice to be able to run, you know, 700-800 watts. And I figured I'll just use a bigger resistor just in case. I don't know. From reading on overclock.net on the 5090 group, these cards actually scaled quite well with the power. I mean, the memory's still locked in Afterburner to the 3000. We can't go higher than that, but the core scaling is apparently very good. No, the 4090 was trash. It didn't scale at all, and I don't think the 3090 did either. So I'm actually pretty excited to try this out. It's been a long time since we had a really good, worthwhile modding flagship. So I think the last really good one was the 2080 Ti. I have a 2080 Ti Kingpin that scales ridiculously. So it's been a while since we had a cool one. Very nice. The most expensive card I've ever bought. Time to void the warranty. Okay, let's see if I could show you this. So yeah, the fans hook into these two headers here. I'm sorry, 3 headers. So we got 3 headers on this side. We're down at the fins. Looks like we do indeed, I wasn't sure at first, we're gonna have to pull the back plane off with all your plugs and everything. So, well, I'm sorry, not the back plane, but the bolts on the top of the back plane. It looks like we have 4. Pay attention to your back plane here, all these little resistors. When I was doing my 3080, I actually broke off a resistor, and believe it or not, card still works, no problem. You actually have a lot of redundancy back here, but still, you know, you should be careful. You can actually repair that kind of stuff, but just don't break it in the first place would probably be a better option, you know? So I'm gonna try and separate it here. I believe it's only being held on by the pads, so I'm gonna give it a little. We're gonna apply Thermal Grizzly, TG Shield. I don't know, some people just use nail polish. I don't have any experience using nail polish, so I don't have a lot to add on that front. Okay, so I'll link the DigiKey link in my description. As always, no affiliate link about this. Okay, so for this card, and I believe most of the 5090s work this way. So this is where your 12-pin connector goes, okay? Power goes in here on the chipset. So you're gonna have a resistor either, I've seen them in photos from different models, they'll either be two side by side or one on each side of the plug. On the MSIs, we have it on each side, which actually, I believe makes this a better card to shunt mod than most of the cards. Some of the, I believe the Asus's are actually side by side. And there is an advantage, I cannot remember what it is from what I was reading, from spacing these shunts apart from each other rather than putting them together. So anyways, what I'm gonna do is, I've never done this before, so, but I've read a lot about this, and I think this is a great card to try it on. So there doesn't seem to be any downside if you are on water at all. The cable melting is an entirely different issue than the power draw itself. You know, we could talk about this for hours, look up everyone's favorite videos, blah, blah, blah. I've actually been considering changing this connector out to something, you know, like a bullet connector from like my RC planes, because I mean, those things will pull hundreds of amps on 6S, no problem. So, I mean, they're rated for way more than these guys. I mean, I've really contemplated it. I'm just gonna run the stock 12-pin for now. And, you know, at the first sign of anything weird happening, I'll desolder this and solder on some sort of bullet connector deal. I don't know what everyone's so scared about. Bullet connectors are great. So anyways, so what I'm gonna do here is just put a little bit of, you know, rework flux on each side and stack one of these right on there. I believe these are actually the same exact size, the 2 microohms, so I'm doubling. So this should actually go, I guess, following that logic, this should increase the wattage to the maximum draw to 1,150 on the stock firmware. If I changed the firmware to something else, then it would be the full 1,200. So, okay guys, now that I'm sitting here, my TG Protect is basically dry, so I figured I would start soldering the shunts on. And now that I'm actually looking at this, I wonder if so I know that this is the right, you know, it's the right size resistor, but, you know, for what a resistor is supposed to do. But the physical dimensions of it are, I mean, this thing is like a quarter of the size of the factory ones. So I wonder if I purchased unknowingly size that is just way too small. So I guess we're gonna see how my drone soldering skills have come along. So, but it's probably not the smallest, believe it or not. I have soldered some pretty small stuff for drones, so let's see how this sticks. Not very well. Maybe I should make it hotter. I was going easy on my temps here, because obviously I'm completely terrified out of my mind soldering something so expensive. Oh. There we go. That's a good stick. Okay, so you need to be about 700 F to get a good stick. So I've soldered the one pad. I mean, I don't think my camera can even pick this thing up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not gonna break out the Nikon for this. But it's so small I can't pick it up with my fingers. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna place this either. Yeah, this feels just too small. I don't know. Technically, I did measure it with my calipers. Technically, it fits. But I mean, we're talking, like, it just fits. Perfect ball. There we go. Nice and shiny. If anyone works for MSI, look away. Let's see if I can get the camera in here. Let me get my pointer. All right. Oh my God, there's no way the camera's gonna pick this up, but it's right here. I did both ends. This is a pack of 10 of these things. This is how small they are, and they're only about half the size here. But honestly, that wasn't too bad. So I'm gonna do the other side now. I won't film it. I don't think this camera can pick it up, but whew, this is a little bit nerve-wracking. Okay. Did the other side. Actually went much smoother than the first time. So I guess, you know, once this works, you can start sending me your MSIs, because I got this down now. Again, I doubt my zoom can do this justice, but I got one there, and we got one there. The left side definitely looks a little messy, but I, you know, inspected it up close, and I'm sure it'll do the job. This one definitely very nice. So I'm doing Conduct Not Extreme. I think everyone pretty much uses this these days. Let's go to the instruction manual, which as you know, Barrow is renowned around the world for their amazing instruction manuals. So. It is titled Waterblock Structure. You know it's going to be good. All right. Silicon pads it is. So I'm going to start cutting those guys up. We'll let these marinate. Okay, so I've applied all of the 1.5 millimeter thickness pads. These are the positions. And you can pretty much figure this out on your own if you're following along, but I'll read off the dimensions anyways. We got two 70 by 15s. We got a single 55 by 15. We have two 15 by 13s, which are these guys. We have six 7 by 6s or 7 by 7s, which are, you know, these little square ones here. Then we have a 100 by 10, which is the long one on this side. We have a 93 by 10, which is the shorter one. Then you have the 24 by 6, which is the one that intersects with the 93 one. The remaining two strips that we're going to add here are going to be 1 millimeter thick, and they will be placed down this row here, and then down this row here. And those ones will be 100 by 7 and 93 by 7. I'm going to make an educated guess that with the bushing on these outer ones, or I'm sorry, spacer, educated guess, we use 4 of them here. And then this will be level with that bolt. Yep, totally level. Okay, mystery solved. So I'm gonna install these now, I guess, on this. There is nothing like a good set of instructions, I'll tell you. What could go wrong, right? It's only $3,500 or so, I guess. Those are figured out. These 4 lock springs are definitely going to be the ones that go on the die here. They're going to be these 4, which are going to be these 4. By the way, here's the Barrow model number if anyone cares, if that ever focuses. I took double 2 mil thick thermal pads, decided to put them on roughly the 4 corners, definitely focusing mostly on the 12-pin side. I figure it can't hurt. I'm not sure how much the other corners are gonna help, but you know, it's a metal backplane, and you know, why waste the heat dissipation if there is some to be had. So I'm probably recommend you guys do something like that. It's probably smart. Now we're gonna set it on the back plane. So the holes align. Now, the only thing is, once you have those thermal pads on the back, it's kind of annoying to get your holes lined up. So before you like press them together, you're gonna wanna work them around a little. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm gonna press it in just a little bit. Don't crack anything. Gentle, gentle. Press on the screw holes. They're reinforced in the PCB. Don't press on the normal silicon areas. Okay, now this is the tricky part, you're gonna have to flip it. Now, hopefully you're not using liquid metal like me, because this makes it a lot harder. Because I need to flip it without changing the position here. There we go. So you start with the spring-loaded screws here. These are what are gonna actually hold your block in. You got thermal paste everywhere. my screws are not very aligned. Okay, yeah, see, my card slipped slightly when I flipped it, so my back plane is lined up, basically, but my card is not aligned, so you want to move the card until it's squared up, basically, with those 4 holes. That's pretty close. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's see if I can show you that. So you're just gonna line up these 4 holes, and once you have those clamped, then you can shimmy the back plane until you get your outer ones aligned. But these 4 in the middle are your most important, because these are actually holding the block against the die. Remember, diagonal, don't do one side with both of them at the same time. And don't tighten them all the way down immediately either. Okay, very, very loose. Do not tighten these yet. So start on one edge. I mean, grip it up here so you have very little torque, and don't torque it really at all, okay? So I did that corner, do this corner. Like, we're talking very, very small amounts here. Now go to this corner. So gentle. You want to do this as evenly as possible. Okay, now we're gonna go and do this corner again. Again, very gentle. Cross corners, gentle. Some of you might have a torque wrench that can do electronics. Use it at this point. If you don't, just keep doing the diagonal thing, being very gentle, very gentle. I do have a torque wrench. I'm not gonna show it. I know a lot of people don't have that. Okay, so in infamous Barrow quality, they gave me the wrong bolts, or not enough of them, or I don't fucking know, because I mean, there's no instructions, so who the fuck knows, right? That's just how we do it in Barrow land. So this guy, they did not give me a bolt long enough. This is an M2x16, okay? These bolts here, I didn't have enough of them. It's an M2x12. This one also, even with the M2x16 in here, it was actually bending the PCB more than I liked. Like, I mean, a little bit of bend is like, okay, if it's like really, really minor, but I mean, it had like, I mean, it was like a mil, okay? So I put in 2 of their little spacer thingies in there. I put 2 on the top of the standoff, or bushing standoff thing, which is probably just because I didn't measure these standoffs. These are probably not even in tolerance to each other. They're probably random. So check all your standoffs as you go around. Make sure they're not bending your PCB. You might need your own bolts. I have no idea how to attach this. I cannot figure it out. Obviously, I know that there's the holes in the PCB, right? But, so these holes here are not threaded. If you'll look at the factory one, it is threaded. So both of those screws are threaded. So I might end up just putting the stock one back on. In fact, yeah, I'm gonna put the stock one back on. So I have no idea what they were thinking or smoking or whatever. So this collection of bolts on the table here makes absolutely no sense that they give you. I don't even know what these would be for, these skinny things. I mean, that doesn't go to this block. I don't know what these are. I don't know what these little adapters are. I don't know why there's so many bushings and standoffs of all sorts of different kinds. And without instructions, I have no idea. You know, like this is what I get. I know. I knew what I was getting. But I'm still disappointed in you, Barrow. You could have done better. It's not hard. The diagrams, you don't even need to write in English. A diagram, something. A 2080 picture is not acceptable. Whatever. It is what it is. I'll get it working, and I'll see you later.